the Canadian economy continues to struggle. While we do see some investment coming in, more seems to be going out. Now, after 8 years of Justin Trudeau blaming everything on Stephen Harper, we see this kind of projection in cartoons, on media and whatnot. Just amazing to watch this. Now, investors largely are waiting for Justin Trudeau to be gone to see a little bit more common sense in our fiscal policy in Canada. But these are the headlines we're seeing today. Canada has lost $225 billion in foreign investment since 2016. What happened just before 2016? Yeah, I'll just leave that one. You leave a comment in the comment section down below if you have any clue of what happened just before 2016. Ottawa boasts large recent inflows of capital, but outflows are even bigger. If Canadians prefer to invest elsewhere, that's bad news. It really, really is. Now, the article goes on to talk about, according to the OECD, Canada is the third largest recipient of foreign direct investment inflows in the first 3 quarters of 2023. $42 billion came into Canada. That seems like a sizable number. Of course, it sounds really big, but behind only the United States. So this is behind only the United States and Brazil. Does that mean Canada is doing well to attract capital, as the federal government has recently argued? Not really. Not if you consider the outflows, the amount of money that's actually leaving the country. Now, I'll leave a link in the description down below. You can check out this whole article for yourself. And for some reason, this website is really laggy. Holy cow. In the first 3 quarters of 2023, Canada did attract $42 billion in inflows, which, cutting to the chase, this is what it comes down to, which is about 4.5% of GDP. But Canadians put their money elsewhere to the tune of $56.5 billion, resulting in a balance of negative $14.5 billion. That's never, ever good news to see that kind of money leaving Canada. And why would you want to take your money and put it somewhere else in the world? Well, it's because largely the Canadian government doesn't want you to invest here. I mean, at least that's what the signal is moving out. Going out into the rest of the world. And would you bring your money back? Well, why would you repatriate it when they're just going to take it from you? Now, here's famous Kevin O'Leary of the Shark Tank and all these other things, but he's a famous investor, Canadian, and he's made himself very rich investing. And this is what he has to say about Canada and investing here.
Well, I say these words with no disrespect. Canada, and I'm an investor, I look at it from that perspective. I'm a Canadian citizen, I'm an Irish citizen, I'm an Emirati citizen. Canada has one of the best natural resource bases on Earth. It's one of the richest countries on Earth from a natural resource basis. It's managed by idiots. Trudeau is the worst prime minister ever put in power. Very successful politician, no executional skills. Hopefully, we will thank him for his service within the next 18 months. It's so important to Canada that he move on. And I mean no disrespect, but full disrespect. Very successful politician, sure. Incredibly weak manager.
So you argue he has not taken advantage of those resources. That's what that comes down to, right?
Oh, it's much worse than that. Okay. I wouldn't let him manage a candy store.
All right, I'll put you down as a maybe on the Prime Minister for the time being. So
put you down as a maybe, absolutely. But this is the reality of the situation. Canada is hurting, and it's largely because of Justin Trudeau. The quicker we get rid of him, the quicker we're going to see our economy move on, and then we get to move on with the rest of our lives. Canadian employment rate falls potential setup for further rate hikes. This is from Better Dwelling, a great source. So again, links in the description down below. A great source for economic news here in Canada. The Canadian economy continues to defy gravity, at least from the view of the headline data. StatsCan released its latest labor force survey showing that unemployment rate fell in January. Experts warn it doesn't tell the whole story, but it may be enough to drive expectations if Canada continues to produce such a positive headline data. Analysts seen something that was thought unthinkable until last week, further interest rate hikes. Now, if if the employment numbers, and I'll leave a link in the description down below. It's a long article, but you can get into why some people aren't even being recorded in the labor force because they've exited the labor force entirely. And yeah, they give you job numbers that might be interesting. Today's job reports, the expert that they, Stilo's team, the experts that they interviewed for this article, today's job report suggests a firmer economy to start in 2024, but we continue to expect the labor market will weaken in H1 as hiring falters and layoffs mount as households cut spending during a deepening recession, he explains. So we're expecting this to deepen. They don't even want to call this a recession, but by all the clinical definitions of what a recession are, more than two quarters of negative growth, that's a recession. It goes on to say, however, in contrast to our baseline recession forecasts, our modeling for a soft landing scenario has, as expected by the Bank of Canada, would result in a continued labor market strength, higher inflation, and likely prompt it to resume hiking, potentially lifting the policy rate to 5.5% mid-year, he warns. So all of this stuff about the rates going down, possibly seeing that happen before everyone's mortgages reset, well, that might not be something to expect. You may actually expect something more on the lines of rate hikes, further rate hikes moving into next year. This is could be devastating for so many people in Canada, which would further exacerbate the situation, absolutely. But when you look at polling data, people want rid of Trudeau. This is largely where we're going with this in Canada. Is he backing down on any of his policies? Well, not really. Not really. And he's been showing that he wants to do something about the housing situation, which he never cared much for but now because that's become a popular thing, but too little too late. And not only that, exacerbating things with the immigration policy that he has of bringing in an extra 500,000 people to Canada every single year for the foreseeable future. That's 1 million people every 2 years. For a country with a population of 40 million people, we're not going to do fare very well with this tiny numbers of housing startups that he's talking about. It's not really going to help us out much. But of course, if we get a different government, we might see something better in that scenario. But we're being held hostage by none other than the coalition that they have in Ottawa with Jagmeet Singh and the NDP. Now, just want to say, leave a comment in the comment section down below. Let me know what you think about this whole scenario. It is just unbelievable that we're being held hostage by our own government for the foreseeable future until the next scheduled election won't be until 2025, but we could, and there's rumors, the rumor mill is spinning that we might have an election this year. Of course, Canada can't wait for that. Until that happens, we won't move on economically. Leave a comment in the comment section down below. Let me know what you think, and we'll see you in the next one. Keep on trucking.